It's been hailed as an example for multimodal transportation centers worldwide and perhaps downtown Denver's biggest game changer. The rebirth of Denver Union Station has been taking shape for decades. But it wasn't until 2001, when RTD bought the Denver Union Station project site, that planning started to take flight. It would require a multitude of stakeholders, creative financing strategies, and really an unprecedented level of collaboration before Denver Union Station would make its debut nearly 15 years later.
This is without question a model what it means to public-private partnership, where the public comes in and simply says, this is important to us, we'll lay the foundation with regards to infrastructure and let the private sector fill in the rest, and the private sector has responded phenomenally.
In 2004, Denver voters approved the multi-billion-dollar Fast Tracks program. 122 miles of new commuter and light rail lines, 18 miles of bus rapid transit, all connecting through Denver Union Station, to be completed within 12 years.
They passed the Fast Tracks 58% to 42%. And that meant then that we had a funding source to really say, okay, what's going to happen in this area? And when we think about this, then Denver Union Station then had the monies which to become, again, the transportation hub. But not only transportation hub, the economic hub for us. Innovative financial planning was absolutely amazing what happened. We actually had 12 different lending sources that combined to come together.
In 2006, the partner agencies, including RTD, the City and County of Denver, the Colorado Department of Transportation, and the Denver Regional Council of Governments, announced the selection of the Union Station Neighborhood Company as the master developer to lead the redevelopment of 19.5 acres surrounding the Union Station train hall.
The Union Station Neighborhood Company's role was to come up with a plan which met all the programmatic needs of the transportation functions, was aligned with the capital resources available to actually finance the project, and then to put together the team that would ultimately complete the design and actually build the project. I can remember days when we would be sitting there, saying, well, what if we moved the train platform here? And, Kiewit would run back and price it up, and they'd come back and tell us, nope, still $20 million over. And, so we went through a whole series of iterations like that to ultimately refine that first conceptual design into something that was operational.
In 2008, the Denver Union Station Project Authority was created to finance, design, and build what would become a $500 million regional transit center, all linked to Union Station.
The Denver Union Station Project Authority, or DUSPA, is a volunteer board of directors appointed by then Mayor John Hickenlooper over 8 years ago to be responsible for making the site function as an efficient transportation facility. We had a lot of different challenges, but I think we were very willing to take all of them on. The main one was funding, because when we first got started, there was very little to zero money. And we worked over thousands of hours revising and improving budgets and change orders. And we have made all of those decisions together as a board, and I think that's what made the project work.
With the transit infrastructure and neighborhood development well on their way, one key component was still untouched. In 2012, the Union Station Alliance was awarded the highly sought-after task of renovating the Union Station train hall into a modern space.
The Union Station Alliance formed really with Dana Crawford probably 20 years ago. She and I were sitting in the cruise room and enjoying an afternoon cocktail, and she said, come on, let's walk over to Union Station. And we did, and she said, someday this will make a great project and a great hotel. And I think that was her vision, and when it came time to put together a proposal, she really pulled together the best and the brightest in the city to take on this amazing project.
The Alliance would spend the next 2 years on preserving the train hall's historic character, adaptive reuse of 3 floors into the 112-room Crawford Hotel, and securing a mix of local retailers and restaurants to activate the ground floor.
Denver Union Station isn't just a train station, it's an icon that represents the history and identity of the city. Repurposing it the way we have has made it modern, relevant, something that can be used by people every day. It wasn't just preserved as a museum piece or a relic. And so being able to repurpose the building in a way that everybody can use it every day is really the highest form of historic preservation.
Not only has the redevelopment of Denver Union Station revived an essential component of downtown Denver's history, it's also created a centerpiece for entertainment, dining, shopping, and multimodal transportation unlike any other in the world.
As someone who works in Riverfront and historically has lived here, it used to be that we walked over Millennium Bridge and walked past blocks of empty land, and it was a quiet place. Now there's just so much more vibrancy. There's buildings coming up, there's retail, there are just so many more people on the streets, so many more things to engage with, and it just feels like a great place to be.
I think one of the best surprises for us is that people have really made this a must-see destination for locals and visitors alike. And as you now come into the Great Hall, you can see the vibrancy that's been created. And I think one of the best things for us in developing this project is the fact that the community has really embraced it, and this has become a community asset, which was one of our goals.
I think that this is the project that is the first example of a LEED certified multimodal hub in the United States. I feel this is truly the largest public-private transit project in the United States. It covers many city blocks, connecting various neighborhoods, expanding the public transportation system, thousands of housing units, millions of square feet of commercial and retail, and it's still growing day by day by day. When I think about Union Station 8 years ago to now, it is just, I just can't even describe it. It is just truly incredible.